Hello everyone, this is Vinita and welcome to Hopeful Turns. In this video, I'll be sharing with you the tutorial of this crochet fingerless mittens. Now, this is a very simple, quick and basic pattern for this fingerless mittens, and this has been especially made for beginners. So if you are a beginner and you want to try your hand at some tutorial, this is a great pattern. Now you can also give this as gifts, so it will be highly appreciated and which will be something really useful. Now if you find this pattern to be really basic, you can just add up something to it. You can just play around with some appliques, maybe a flower or something like a heart. If you want to, you can just stitch some appliques. If you're going to give it for some kids, you can probably use some teddy bear appliques and make it more interesting. Now, if you don't want to put appliques, you can definitely go ahead and use some contrast colors to give a border, picot or scallop border, or just plain simple slip stitch or single crochet border. So it will just add some interesting dimension to the very basic mitten pattern here. Okay, so what we are going to do is we'll be just making a single crochet rows. We'll make it into a rectangle and stitch this up. So you should be able to do it in under 30 minutes or so. Okay, now for this pattern here, I have used a 5mm crochet hook, all right, and some acrylic yarn. This is a 4-ply medium weight acrylic yarn. You can use any yarn that you have. Just make sure that you use the recommended hook size. So you can use a chunky weight or a DK weight. Here I have just used a medium 4-weight yarn. Now apart from this, you'll need a pair of scissors and darning needles because we are going to stitch this up at the end. So you will require a darning needle. If you have a stitch marker, it's well and good. Otherwise, you can just count the stitch and just try to remember. It's not necessary that you should have a stitch marker. A safety pin would be more than enough. Okay, so these are the few things that you'll require. Now before starting the tutorial, a small request: if you're new to my channel and if you like what you see, please consider subscribing. So let's start. So we'll start this with a slip knot. So to make a slip knot, this is how I like to do. I'll take the yarn and loop it around my finger like an X. Then take this loop off and pull the working yarn through this loop. So this here is my slip knot. Now once I have my slip knot, I'm going to make some chain stitches. So the number of chain stitch will depend on the length that you are looking for. So I'm going to make it from here till here, and I know that from my previous mittens, I know that I made 25 chain stitch to reach that length. So depending on the length that you prefer, you have to make your chain stitches. All right, so we'll do that. So to make a chain stitch, you go left, you go under your yarn and pull up a loop. So this is one. Again, you go left, you go under, catch hold of the yarn and pull up a loop. So this is my second chain stitch. So like this, I am going to make a total of 25 chain stitches. Now this number of chain stitch will totally depend on the length that you are making for, as well as it will also depend on the hook size and the yarn thickness. So depending on that, make the number of chain stitch that you require for the length. Anyway, I'll just make 25 chain stitches and then meet you. So here I have got my 25 chain stitches, and if I have to keep it like this, I'll start from here till here. So this is the length that I want. So it is going to cover from here till here. So depending, if you want a much longer one, you make that many more chain stitches. Okay, so this is the starting number of chain stitch. I have made 25. Now what I'm going to do is, for the first row, I'm going to skip the first chain stitch that is here, not the one on the loop, but the first chain stitch, and make a single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. Okay, so to make a single crochet, I'll insert my hook in the second stitch like this and then pull up a loop. I have 2 loops on my hook. I'll yarn over and pull my hook through both these loops. So this here is my first single crochet, and I'm going to make 1 single crochet in the entire row. Okay, So come to the next stitch and make a single crochet. So for that, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both these loops. So this is my second single crochet. Again a single crochet. So like this, I am going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch. Once more, I'll insert my hook like this and pull up a loop. I have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through all the 2 loops. So like this, I'll just continue making a single crochet row. So I had started with chain 25. I have skipped the first stitch. So once I finish this, I will have a total of 24 single crochet. Alright, so I'll just make 24 single crochet and meet you at this end. So here I have almost reached the end of the first row. I have just my last stitch left. So in the very last stitch also, I'm going to make a single crochet. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both these loops. So this completes my 1 row of single crochet. So whatever is the number of chain stitch, you should be ending with 1 less than the number of chain stitch because we had skipped the first stitch. So here I had started with 25 chain stitches and I am having total of 24 single crochet in the first row. Now if you are a beginner, it is a very good practice to count the stitches and make sure that you have the required number of stitches. Alright, we'll move on to the second row. So to make the second row, we'll start with a chain stitch. So chain 1 and then turn your work like this. Now the chain 1 here that I have put is going to be acting as a turning chain. It is not going to be counted as a single crochet. It's just a turning chain. Now what I'm going to do is in the second row also, I'll place a single crochet in every stitch. So the single crochet that you're going to place is here like this. So it is kind of a V. You are going to insert your hook through this space in the single crochet stitch, catching both the loops. All right, so this was my chain 1. So come to the first stitch and make a single crochet. So this here is my single crochet. This is my chain 1. I'll just ignore that and go directly into my first single crochet and then put a single crochet stitch. So insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both of this. So this is your first single crochet. Like that, make 1 single crochet on top of every stitch. So come to the next stitch. So this is my second stitch. I'll insert my hook and then pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through both. So this is my second single crochet. Come to the next stitch and make a single crochet. This is my third single crochet. Like this, I'll make 1 single crochet in every stitch. Now once I finish this row, I will again end up with 24 single crochet. So keep making 1 single crochet in every stitch. So I'll meet you at the end of this row. So here I am at the end of the second row also. I have to put my last single crochet. So the last single crochet will go here. It is kind of a slant. So don't miss that. You have to put your single crochet, the last single crochet there also. So just make sure that you put it there, and the best way to do is to count the number of single crochet. Your every row should have the same number of single crochet. So whatever was the single crochet in the row 1, that many single crochet you should have in row 2. Alright, so this finishes our row 2. We'll start the row 3. We'll chain 1 and then turn our work. From here onwards, the pattern is the same. You're just going to repeat row 2. That is, you're going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch. So before starting any row, you have to chain 1 and then turn and start making your single crochet. So put the first single crochet in the first stitch, not your chain 1, but the first single crochet of the previous round. So here is the first single crochet. Come to the next stitch, make a single crochet. Come to the next stitch, make a single crochet. So like this, keep making 1 single crochet in every stitch. Once you reach the last stitch, chain 1 and then turn your work and again keep making single crochet. So if you are a beginner, it is highly recommended that you keep counting the single crochet and try to maintain the same number of single crochet. Only then you will have a proper rectangle kind of a thing. Okay, so I'll just keep making a few more single crochet row till I am able to cover my hand. So this was the length. Now I have to keep making single crochet till I am able to cover my palm. Okay, I'll just show you what I mean. So here I have made a few single crochet row and I'm stopping here because I'll turn my work like this. This is my starting chain. I'll keep my hand like so and then wrap it around my hand. So the number of rows is perfect to wrap it around my fingers or my palm. So if I stitch this up, this is going to completely cover this up. So you have to make the number of rows so that it is able to completely wrap your palm. Okay, so that many rows I have made. And once I have finished this, what I'm going to do is I'll just finish this work off. So this was my very last single crochet. I'm going to chain one and then pull it up like so and then cut my yarn. So I'll just cut it off somewhere here and push it up. So my piece is ready. Now what I'm going to do is I'll stitch my yarn, stitch the sides like this. Okay, so now we will stitch this up. So for that I've just placed two markers here which will show where my thumb is going to go. So if I have to keep my hand like this, alright, I've just marked the places where I should leave a gap for my thumb, alright. So if I have to turn it like this, you can see that this is where my the gap should be for my thumb, and this is how this will look. So you just fold it into half, put your palm through it and just mark the two stitches where your gap of the palm should be. Alright, now once you have this, we are going to stitch this up. So I'll stitch from here till this stitch marker and then stitch from here till here, leaving this gap for the thumb. Alright, so for that I have already attached a darning needle to this and we'll start stitching now. Okay, you can use any stitch that you prefer. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So if you see here, there is a V stitch that is here. So I'll use both the V stitch here and one stitch from this side. Alright, so that is how I'm going to stitch this up. So we'll start stitching this up. So into my first stitch and into the first stitch here, I'll just pull my working yarn like this, go to the next stitch, taking both the loops and one loop from this side. So like this I'll just make the stitching. So here I have stitched it up till my first stitch marker. I had two strands, so using the second strand also I stitched it up so it will be more secure. Now if you do not have a long strand left, what you can do is you can attach another yarn and then stitch it up, just like what I'm going to do at this side. So I have taken another yarn, just cut it, and now I'm going to stitch it from here till this stitch marker and back. If you do it twice, it will be more secure. That is what I feel. Okay, so we'll start it. So what I'm going to do is same like this. I'm going to take two yarns from this end and one yarn from this and then just stitch it up. Okay, so I'll do that back and forth. So here I have stitched up both the sides and hidden in all the loose tails. Okay, and here I have the gap for my thumb. Now if you want to wear it, you just have to slip it like this and your gloves or your mittens are ready. Now you can use the same thing in the other hand also. You just have to put it like this. Okay, so the pattern is the same, you can interchange it. And if you notice, this is a little bit loose here, and if it is bothering you, what you can do is you can just slip stitch around it 2 times so that it will just tighten up, but I don't mind so much, so I'm just leaving it just like that. Now, as I had said, if you want to do something, you can definitely go ahead and make a contrast border, maybe a single crochet or slip stitch, both on the top and the bottom, or you can do a scalloped border or a picot border, whatever you like, or just keep it plain or simple. You can also decorate here if you want with some flowers if you want to, or some other applique, maybe a heart. And if you're making for kids, it will be a good idea to put some teddy bears, something like this. All right, so all these appliques I have already made on my channel. If you're interested, you can check that up, but I'm just going to keep it just plain and simple. So this was our tutorial. Hope this was useful and helpful to you. If you like the video, please do not forget to press on the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. See you in the next video. Until then, bye. Thank you for watching.